Colquitt Parkway. Not jammed like it was, so it looks like they may have whatever that incident was cleared, but there's still very heavy traffic there, and there's still a roadwork delay on eastbound 5570. Not jammed like it was, but it's still pretty busy from 255 heading into 157, and I'm still seeing the restrictions both directions on 50 just east of Gerald. That's where we had a car that took out a utility pole and power lines. At Penn Mutual, we believe that life insurance is a central part of a sound financial plan and that it can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. I'm Roger Brand at the michaelsflooringoutlet.com Traffic Center.
No weather concerns at all for this evening. We're looking for clear skies. Evening temperatures will take a slow drop through the 70s. 63 for the overnight low on Tuesday, the first day of October. Sunny skies, a dry, cool front swinging our winds to the northwest Tuesday afternoon. So it gets a little bit breezy, 76 for the high. Tuesday night, almost chilly, 49 degrees. Wednesday, sunny and beautiful, 74. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
It's 76 degrees right now in St. Peters. It's 79 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, we have 79 degrees. I'm Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
From KMOX Sports. Okay, boys, here we go. Welcome to the Graybar Sports Open Line.
Goldschmidt swings, and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Here we go. Now, Matt Pauley on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
All right, man, let's get going here.
Here we go. Let's go.
Indeed, here we go. We've got a busy next 2 hours for you. Welcome in. It's a Graybar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. My name's Matt Pauley, taking you till 8 o'clock this evening. Jam-packed program, so much to get into, both from a Cardinal standpoint and from a national standpoint. By the way, breaking news beyond the unfortunate news that we just learned that Pete Rose has passed away at the age of 83 years old. The Major League Baseball regular season did officially come to an end just moments ago. The Mets and Braves playing a doubleheader today. The Mets came back to win game number 1 against the Braves, 8-7, but then the Braves win the second game 3-0. So that means both the Mets and Braves are headed to the postseason. If one of those two teams would have swept, the team that won both games would have been into the playoffs, and then the team that got swept would have been out, and the Arizona Diamondbacks would be in the playoffs. How horrible of a situation is this for Arizona? The Diamondbacks as a team fully packed for like a week. They went to the ballpark today. As a team, they sat and watched these games between the Mets and the Braves. And then when the Braves won the second game, instead of getting on a plane, they went home because they are out. So neither of the World Series participants from last year are in this year's Major League Baseball postseason. The Rangers had been eliminated for quite some time, the defending World Series champions, and now the Diamondbacks, they are out as well. The official postseason, even though today's games felt like postseason games, the postseason officially will begin tomorrow. The American League will have the first 2 games, Tigers, Astros, Royals, Orioles, and then the National League will have the second 2 games with today's results. The Mets will go to Milwaukee to match up against the Brewers. That's interesting because David Stearns is the president of baseball operations for the Mets, former president of baseball operations for the Brewers. He takes his team to Milwaukee, and then the Braves are going to travel to San Diego to match up against the Padres. The Braves don't have any starting pitching. All of their current major league starters are either not rested enough to start or injured. Chris Sale got hurt today, evidently. So it may be a situation where they're calling somebody up from AAA to make a start tomorrow. Just wild stuff. Locally, which is why you're probably tuned in, the Cardinals make a huge announcement today when it comes to the future of the organization. The Cardinals announcing that there is a succession plan in place. John Mozeliak, the club's president of baseball operations, he is going to stick on for 1 more year. He will serve out the rest of his contract, but then Chaim Bloom is going to become the club's president of baseball operations at the end of next season. So there is and he signed a 5-year deal with the club. He oversaw the Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Red Sox before coming to the Cardinals as an advisor. Now, just because he's not going to take over as the president of baseball operations until next year doesn't mean that he doesn't have a busy year in front of him, because the Cardinals also announced a complete revamp, a complete reset of the club's player development system. This is good for the club. It means new technology, new staffing, a lot of new things. They've said this before, they say they are going to break ground on the spring training complex in April, immediately following this upcoming spring training. And they are going to be able to really build something out in Jupiter that's going to help in that area. So we're going to dig deep into the announcements today. I'll say this, and coming up in just a few moments, we are going to, I got the chance earlier today to talk with both John Mozeliak and Bill DeWitt III, and we're going to play those conversations over the next couple segments before we get back into my thoughts on this. And of course, we'll be taking your phone calls and text messages and tweets and all that coming up later on in the program. I want to say this, though, because I've been talking about this for quite some time. I've said it over and over and over. And those of you who listen to me on an everyday basis know that I've talked about the issue with the Cardinals has been their infrastructure. That they have not been the best at making players the best version of themselves, whether that's at a major league level or whether it's at the ability to develop high-end major league talent. The steps that they are putting into place, if they are successful, and there's still the if, but Bloom obviously has a track record in doing this. The steps that they announced today in creating a robust player development system that is at the forefront of using technology and data. If this works, and I think it will, because it's worked in other places, if this works, this should be able to revamp the system to a point where they are more prepared to win on an every year basis at the major league level. The years of going and signing Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn as a Band-Aid because you don't have guys available to take those spots, the idea is that that's going to be done, that they are going to have the players to be able to develop. And then when you do have holes on the roster at the major league level, you're able to go use free agency to fill those holes and maybe bring in an impact player. But before you can do that, before the free agent money can really be spent in an effective way, you got to have a system that is developing high-end talent. And that is the goal of what they announced today. And that is a good goal, and that is a healthy goal for the team to have. I am very much on board with that. And yeah, again, we'll dig a lot deeper into all of this coming up in just a few moments, so you don't want to go anywhere. Up next, my conversation with John Mozeliak. We'll dig in a little bit on what the changes are going to be and what he thinks about going into his final year and the partnership with Chaim Bloom. That's all coming up in just a moment. This is a Graybar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Disasters strike without warning, but together we can help those in need. Your financial donation to the Red Cross provides critical relief when it's needed most. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS or text the word Helene to 90999 to donate today. Every dollar counts. Message and data rates may apply.
Chatting today with Debbie about her experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. Now, Debbie, you had a huge project. How did it go?
My experience was wonderful. I worked with Taylor, and if he was my son, I'd be very proud.
That's quite the endorsement. What were the details of your project?
I had 2 bathrooms done, a new kitchen, and a pretty large flooring project.
And did they get it done in the time frame you were expecting?
Well, it took 2 weeks because it was a big job.
Did the quality of work meet your expectations?
Yes, it was excellent.
Would you recommend 3-Day Kitchen and Bath to someone that was deliberating on redoing their kitchen or bathroom?
I would, and I have already.
Sounds like you'd give them a 5-star rating.
I did.
There you have it. Another 3-Day Kitchen and Bath satisfied customer. Request your in-home consultation today at 877-229-8829 or online at 3daykitchen.com.
It's about time at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
This is a special report from the Missouri Lottery. Please do not attempt to put giant checks in the bank's pneumatic tubes. You will be provided with a bank-compatible check or just cash. The Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Ben, board-certified master arborist with Timberline Professional Tree Care. Here to talk with you about removing dead, dangerous, and unwanted trees from your property. Timberline has recently invested in cutting-edge equipment to remove your trees in the safest, most efficient way possible. In fact, our robotic tree removal can remove trees in about half the time as conventional means, with less manpower and thereby saving you a ton of money. This is just one of the ways that we continue to innovate. Timberline has a cost calculator on our new website, stltreecare.com, which can provide you a guaranteed tree removal quote instantly from the comfort of your own home. Don't hassle with trying to get your brother-in-law's cousin or whoever to come cut your tree down. He's never coming. And that guy that won't call you back, he's never coming either. Save yourself a bunch of time and money and call Timberline Professional Tree Care today at 636-479-7475 or use the cost calculator on our brand new website at stltreecare.com.
Get the match day party started early with St. Louis City SC. Starting at 4 p.m. on Saturday, October 5th, before kickoff against Houston Dynamo in the final home game of the regular season, come out to Lou Fuse Plaza, located steps from City Park, for the free City Block Party, featuring live music from Nando STL, Rock Seals, and DJ Nico Marie. Local food and drinks, games, giveaways, and so much more. For all the details, visit stlcitysc.com.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
It's a Gray Bar Sports Open Line here on KMOX. Very happy to be able to welcome onto the program someone who's had a very busy day. He is the Cardinals president of baseball operations for one more year, John Mozeliak. John, thanks for taking some time with us.
Well, thank you. That sounds nice, by the way. One more.
You know, we spoke during the offseason, and one of the things you said to me that really stuck out was that the line was, you want to have your job basically adjust to your life and not your life adjust to your job. So I guess you're a year away from that happening?
Yeah, I think I've gotten to the point where, like, when you're in this seat for a long enough period of time, you realize it is a bit of a beatdown. I mean, it's hard to just keep people always happy. And I don't want to use that as an excuse. I mean, obviously the last couple seasons have not gone as well as we had hoped, but when you look at the body of work and what we have been able to accomplish over the last 17 years, and I really like to think of my career with the Cardinals now beginning my 30th year, there's been a lot of winning. And, you know, I felt a couple of years back, I was sitting down with Mr. DeWitt, and we were talking about, like, really what the future would look like. And as he had mentioned, he offered me a 3-year deal. I accepted a 2, but really the agreement at that time was to create a succession plan and what that looks like. And so, you know, here we are, we get to unfold it. And, you know, I know there's a lot of work that needs to be done over the next 12 months, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. And I am energized because it will be a little different for me this year than it has been in the past.
How valuable is it? the team needs to hire a farm director. If there's not the succession plan in place, that farm director comes in maybe not knowing who their boss is going to be a year from now. As you guys make so many important decisions, is it important that people coming into the organization know what it's going to look like down the road?
Exactly. And that was actually the critical part of this, because it would have been very difficult for me to go recruit senior leadership, knowing that at some point I would be stepping down. And I didn't want to be disingenuous and not have that honest conversation or be transparent. And so, as we looked at trying to bring someone in this past year, we ended up bringing in Chaim, and he's been, a really valuable resource over the last, say, 8 months. But now we know the future. And, both he and I know there's a lot of work that needs to be done. The hiring process for many open positions is going to happen. But in the meantime, at least the recruiting will be a lot much more seamless, because everybody will know what the leadership looks like.
Can you take me through the timeline a little bit of the last however many months of when it became evidently clear that you guys did want to go through a player development reset?
I would say after it was actually probably right during the draft that I knew Gary was going to be stepping away. And so we were going to look at what that leadership looked like. But then it really became the timing of is Chaim going to accept this job? Is he willing to do it? And so really we needed to iron all that out. And that happened late August, early September. And then now we wanted the season to end before we went with anything public. And so ultimately that's why we waited till today. And here we are.
There are a lot of fans right now listening that probably don't care about a pitching lab, don't care about computers, don't care about stop motion technology, all these things that I know the organization is going to be investing more in. Can you speak to the fans and say how impactful and important those things can be towards eventually having a very successful major league team?
Well, I do think those are hard to understand and quantify. Like, well, how's that going to make us really better? But when you look at what's happening in our industry right now, you're really fighting for things on the margins. Clearly if you draft well, you need to develop well. If you draft well but don't develop well, you have a problem. If you don't draft well, it's hard to develop well, right? And so those things are constant. Those are truisms. But there is some things you're seeing out there in the industry right now where people are taking certain things they see in a pitcher or a hitter and then acquiring them and getting more out of them. And that's ultimately really where we want to get to. And if we're able to do that, I think we have a chance to be more successful. Clearly we won a lot of games here, but when you look at where the franchise is and what we're trying to do, we have a lot of talent coming, but there's still more to be done.
The young guys on the team this past year, a lot of them really performed well. What is the excitement level about this group right now at the major league level who's going to be tasked to be the core of next year's team?
I think when you look at our club next year, it's a little premature to know exactly what we're going to look like. But having said that, there's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot of talent there. I think about like someone like Mason Wynn. A year ago, we knew we wanted to give him opportunities to be our shortstop, but sort of the uncertainty of what we were going to see out of him was something that we just weren't sure about. But ultimately, the way he ended up playing and the growth he made throughout this season was impactful. And now I think you can kind of count on that moving forward. So now it's going to be like, what do we augment around that, and who steps up, and what's that next generation going to look like? And but it's exciting to know you have that kind of talent.
With some expectation that there will be youth on the team. You've got a manager in Oliver Marmol who came up through the player development system. Many of his coaches that are expected back were great minor league managers or minor league coaches. How important is it to have those type of teachers on the major league staff?
Well, I think it's important. I do feel like in an industry where you're seeing minor league players move faster and faster through the system, you can't come up here to the big leagues and think coaching just stops, right? It's an ongoing process. And, I was actually speaking with Pop Warner this morning, and, he reiterated to me about how important it is to just keep pushing, keep coaching, keep making these players learn, because things move fast up here. And if you're not prepared, it will show up.
Last thing for you, we make so much of the Cardinal way. Is it important to note that this isn't a deviation from the Cardinal way? Maybe it's pushing it forward?
I would hope so. I think maybe the easiest way to think about it, it's going to evolve. Being stagnant in the business world or the baseball world is never a healthy place to be. And so always looking at ways of innovation and pushing the envelope is something that we have to do. And we know that, but we at the time were sometimes making choices to do something at the major league level, maybe at the price of something down below. But ultimately, we're committed. We have ownership backing, and we're going to move forward.
John, thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt.
That is Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak. My conversation with him earlier this afternoon over at Busch Stadium just after the press conference. I also spoke with Club President Bill DeWitt III. I'll run that interview coming up in our next segment. At the end of this hour and then the beginning of next hour, that's when I've got it kind of locked in as a time to hear from you. You can call in, you can text in, you can tweet in. If you call or text later on in the hour, 314-436-7900. If you want to text any of your reactions to what you just heard from John Mozeliak, feel free to get those in right now, or you can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. And again, after we hear from Bill DeWitt III, I'll open up phone lines as well. But certainly taking your texts and tweets here for the next little while. 314-436-7900 is how you get in contact with the program. Up next, we will hear from Club President Bill DeWitt III. If you weren't locked into the press conference, it was Bill DeWitt Jr., the club chairman, team president Bill DeWitt III, John Mozeliak, and then Chaim Bloom. Those were the four who spoke during the press conference earlier today. We're going to play some of that press conference audio coming up next hour. But up next, we hear from Bill DeWitt III in just a moment. This is a Graybar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
I said, yes, absolutely, because the American people deserve it.
And Tuesday night, they'll do just that. Vice presidential candidates Tim Walz and J.D. Vance will go head-to-head in their first and only debate.
And I got to tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy.
Hear it live Tuesday night, beginning at 7:30, with analysis and reaction immediately following on News Radio 1120, KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side fighting for every last dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
It's Medicare open enrollment time. Make your appointment for a free unbiased review of options from Missouri SHIP. Happy with your current plan? That plan could change. It's important to check for changes each year. Missouri SHIP's trained counselors will help review all of your options and show the best plan for you. Missouri SHIP counselors can help you find savings in your Medicare-related costs. Contact Missouri SHIP today, 1-800-390-3330 for help with your Medicare open enrollment.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. We've negotiated over $5 billion in settlements. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. We've won millions for victims of truck accidents, drunk driving crashes, and workers' compensation. Call Onder Law, 314 or 618-9-million. That's 314 or 618-9, all zeros.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
When you bought your home, you took on more than just a house payment. You spend weekends on upkeep, repairs drain your bank account, and with your equity locked up, you can't do anything. You love your home and want to stay, but it's a constant struggle. What if you could sell your home, reclaim your weekends, and not have to move? You can with Truehold's Sell and Stay program. Truehold will buy your home now while the market is high. You can bank all that equity in cash and stay in your home with a lease. Plus, you won't have to worry about property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Join thousands that have secured their retirement, paid off bills, and financed their dreams. Get an offer now while the market is hot. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com or call 855-300-9993. Truehold.com. Truehold.com.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448.
Okay, boys, here we go.
When they take the field.
Take the field? Let's have some fun.
We take you to the game.
They don't like us. We don't like them.
Thursday night, it's the Buccaneers and Falcons. And you can hear the game here. Segment Cancer Center game time 6:30 on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It's Greg Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. We're very happy right now to welcome on Cardinals team president Bill DeWitt III after, I know, a day that the club thinks is really exciting with the announcement. Basically, Chaim Bloom is the president of baseball operations in waiting while he oversees player development. There's going to be a lot of resources given to player development. And Bill, we appreciate your time. What, just from a general standpoint, what is the excitement level about this announcement?
Well, I think the key is that, we're trying not to take any shortcuts and getting back to a consistently competitive situation here. It's no fun missing the playoffs. And while we took a step forward this year based on, compared to last year, it's still not where we want to be at all. Being on the outside looking in October is no fun. And we know how fun October baseball can be. We've been a part of it, and we've seen teams go on deep runs. We've won championships, and that's where we know we need to get back to. And our fans expect that, and they deserve it. And we're willing to do what it takes to get back there.
You guys mentioned during the press conference that this organization has previously been at the forefront of using technology and using analytics, and maybe there are some other franchises that have moved past. How important is it to once again really be the leader in that area?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it takes you can't just stand still in this game because other teams are gaining on you if you're not moving ahead. And we feel like the greatest area of opportunity for us is player development at the moment. We see what's going on out there, and we look hard at how other teams have been successful, perhaps by investing a little smarter, a little bit more in that area. And we need to get back to the forefront. I mean, that's part of the Cardinal tradition. We've always been great, going back 140 years. When you look at the championship teams, they're always based on a great development pipeline and supplementing that here and there as needed. But for the most part, that's your bread and butter for sustainable competitiveness, and that's where we need to get back to.
You look at what Tampa Bay did with Chaim Bloom being a huge part of that organization. Again, just excitement level, knowing what he had done in player development before, being able to bring some of that here. what are you looking forward to, and how impactful can that be?
Yeah, I mean, incredible baseball resume. Obviously, was with Tampa as they were leading the charge in this area that we've been talking about, and then was the GM in Boston, where he was charged with essentially cutting payroll from a big market situation, and he had to move a bunch of guys, obviously Mookie, et cetera. And we don't think that he was kind of given the runway that he needed there. We saw that, and obviously jumped at the opportunity to bring him into our organization to take a look at where we were, and did a great job, I think, of evaluating and analyzing where we were. It's sometimes good to have somebody from the outside give you a sense of calibration, where you are with the rest of the industry. And Chaim, brings that to the table for us, and we're excited to have him, continue to learn and grow on what he's doing and focusing on player development next year, and then taking over the top role the year after that.
Is it challenging to send the message to fans that even though there's some stuff that's kind of happening under the hood, that this is a surge forward and not a step back?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think, look, our fans are smart. They understand that there's 30 teams out there. They all want to win. They all have different situations in terms of, either revenues or fan interest. And, there's just multiple factors out there with a lot of different teams. But our fans are very knowledgeable. They understand that you don't, win a championship with, a quick, easy fix. It's just not the way it works. And they get that. They've been loyal. We're so appreciative of our great fans. There's been a lot made about attendance and our Cardinals fans, maybe not as loyal as we thought. I don't look at it that way at all. We had a nice, 2.85 million attendance this year, coming off of a really down year last year. And, most about 25 teams would trade places with us, and here we are coming off a bad year. So continue to really push on areas that we think fans are looking for. I meet with a lot of season ticket holders throughout the season. And, we hear a number of different issues from them directly, and we try to work on those issues on the business side, try to create a great value for season ticket holders. We're making a bunch of changes so that we can clean up the secondary market, as an example, try to create some price integrity for them if they're looking to move a few tickets. We are continuing to look at a value proposition for them with discounts on concession and retail. Basically, everything you would expect on the business side, we're trying to push on so that we can have the resources to basically put everything we can on the field and in support of the ultimate product on the field through the procurement and development pipeline.
In many ways, it's crossroads for the team. The player development stuff is being reset. The media stuff from a TV deal, streaming, sports gambling could be coming in very soon. You got the new team president of business operations, and Nook really looking at game day presentation. I mean, there's a lot of things in flux right now.
There really are. They were getting those questions after the news conference about, have you guys ever been in this spot? And I think the answer is no. We've certainly dealt with periods of change, lots of different things over 29 seasons. But I don't recall an off season where there were so many areas of change that we're managing, and it's actually exciting. I mean, we think that our team is ready to take on these challenges, and we know other teams are dealing with stuff like this too. And we love our staff and our team, and we think we're up for the challenge. I hope our fans see that we are remain as passionate as we've ever been about this. We know they are. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, do you listen to all the naysayers and this or that?" And I said, well, directionally, yes. And we know that that's a function of passion, as well as just, really caring and identifying with Cardinals baseball as an important part of their summer. And we aim to get us back on top in every aspect, not just on the field, but, on the business side too.
Congratulations on the announcement. Thank you so much for taking some time.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
That is team president Bill DeWitt III joining us. Just a quick sidebar before we go any further. Just want to publicly say thank you to both him and John Mozeliak. Today was kind of a crazy day. The way it all worked out is they did the big press conference, and then that came to an end. And they met with like Bally Sports Midwest. They met with team writers who cover the team. They met with the different TV stations over there. There was a lot being asked of them, and they each were willing to walk down the hallway with me to our KMOX studios inside of Busch Stadium and spend 7 to 10 minutes talking through things. And they didn't have to do that. So appreciate them being so open with what they had to say and being so gracious with their time. But at the same time, part of that is, I think Cardinals fans need to understand what is going on here, right? You need to understand what's going on here. This is a shift. This is a changing of the way the operation is going to move forward. This is going back to making sure that they have high-end talent developing and graduating from the minor leagues. They haven't had that as much lately, and they want to be more consistent in what they are getting, and it might take a year or two before they get that. I think what we're not going to see the Band-Aids. And with all due respect to Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn, I think each of those guys had uniquely good seasons for the Cardinals. This is not a shot at their performance whatsoever, but those guys were Band-Aids. Those guys were guys who came in because they didn't have people ready to go and ready to take those spots in the rotation. And now here moving forward, what kind of opportunity is Michael McGreevy going to get? What kind of opportunity is a Gordon Graceffo going to get? When will we see Tink Hence? When will we see Quinn Matthews? I think we see Matthews before the All-Star break next season if things go well for him at AAA, and maybe it's even sooner than that. I don't think he's going to break camp with the club. I'm sure they would like him to have a little bit of success at AAA. His numbers at AAA this year were not great, but instead of the Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn type signings, it's going to be guys who are being produced, and the hope is that they are able to get even better results from them. Want to touch on the payroll lowering and what that might look like, because it could go one of two directions. In one direction, I think is no big deal. The other direction I do think is a big deal. We'll get into that. Plus, we're here to take your phone calls, your text messages, and your tweets. 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can also tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. And we'll continue to talk through this. We're back with more in just a moment. It's a Graybar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Hi, it's Stacy from Fairwinds Rivers Edge Senior Living, telling you about one of the best offers we've had in the nearly 21 years I've been at Fairwinds. One-bedroom apartments start at $39.95. For all units, we've greatly reduced the residency fee. We are offering a move package of up to $3,500. And moving in, you will not have an increase in 2025. Visit us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
Indoor air quality is so important, especially in the fall and winter months. Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling has UV air scrubbers and whole house air purifiers. These solutions can eliminate invisible airborne particles, whether they're allergens and pollen, pet dander. The air purifiers can disinfect the air by destroying bacteria and viruses. They also can eliminate odors. Call Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling to improve your air quality today. And don't forget about the $89 maintenance special. ComfortSolutionsSTL.com.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
Can't make it to Kansas City for the big game? No problem. Experience every Kansas City Chiefs game, like here in the front row at Valley Sports Live in Walmart Village. Join fellow Chief fans on game day and feel the roar of the crowd right here in St. Louis for the Chiefs. Chiefs Watch Parties, presented by Jim Beam. Don't miss a moment of the action. Head to KMOX.com/events to reserve your table now and cheer the Chiefs to victory.
This is Megan Lynch. If your family has been touched by Alzheimer's, join me at the St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's on Saturday, October 26th at Chesterfield Park. Experience a community of support. Register today at alz.org/STL Walk.
If you're thinking about selling your home, I'm sure there are two things that you want: certainty and the most money, right?
This is Debbie Monterey, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know that the agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first call when looking for an agent. Gloria does not make empty promises. She provides written guarantees. What does that mean for you? Certainty. Certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
A storm safety tip from Quiver River Electric Cooperative. While you can't predict which weather forecast will come true, you can plan ahead. So when severe weather strikes, you have the tools and resources to weather the storm. Shutter windows and securely close exterior doors. Fully charge all cell phones, laptops, and devices so you have maximum power if there's an outage. For more on severe weather safety, visit quiver.com or call 1-800-392-3709.
At Scrubbles, we're not just about cleaning your car, we're about giving you the freshest ride inside and out. Join now and enjoy a special offer for new members. For just $9.95 per month for the first 2 months, experience the benefits of our Scrubbies Graphene, Ultimate, Super, or Deluxe memberships. With 7 Scrubbles locations open and another coming soon to Wentzville, your membership is valid at all 8 locations. Visit ScrubblesExpressWash.com today to purchase your Scrubbles membership and find a wash near you.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-291-3183. That's 800-291-3183. 800-291-3183.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW. I am so confident that my team will take care of every one of your service and sales needs. I'll give you my cell phone. 618-791-5470. Newbold Toyota or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
Back at it as we take you till 8 o'clock this evening. We're doing pretty much nothing but Cardinals between now and 8 o'clock. Outside of 7:20, we'll talk a little Mizzou football right at 7:20. But outside of that, a lot of opportunities for you to chime in on what was announced today. You can call or text 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900, or you can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Our first phone caller of the program is Tom. Hey, Tom, you're on Sports Open Line.
Thank you. I listened to the interview today, and I don't understand how they think they're going to get back to competing. Their philosophy is to build the team on the draft. They're never going to sign a top free agent. And if they're drafting from the middle to the bottom of the round, they're never going to get one of the top stars. We don't have any top stars. We've got some good players. I like Wynn. I like Donovan. But we don't have any stars. And we're going to do the same thing if we make the playoffs that we've done in the last 10 years. Tom, we're going to get knocked out in the first round.
I think you misheard a little bit. because I have spoken with people, and whether this was overtly stated today or not, and you can believe me or not believe me, but I'm going to tell you something that's true. The idea from an organizational standpoint is that they get the player development system rolling once again, and they try to have success the way a Tampa has had, the way a Milwaukee has had. Milwaukee's won a lot of games in the last 5-6 years. They're not drafting at the beginning of the draft either, yet that's not stopping them from being able to produce very high-end talent. The idea is to get that thing back rolling, and then they're going to have so much cost-controlled talent that they are going to be able to fill in the gaps in free agency and go acquire those high-end players, whether it's via trade, taking on salary, or via free agency. So the idea is to have much of the roster be developed from player development, but I don't think they are saying that they are not going to still be willing to go bring in high-money talent.
They said they wanted to compete this year, and they didn't go after Sonny Gray. Is a good pitcher, but he's no better than a number 2. They didn't go for a number 1.
I mean, Sonny Gray was second in the American League Cy Young Award voting last year. He was coming off. He's a pretty good pitcher, Tom. But
yes,
that's not.
Pitcher.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the roster for next year. I don't know what the roster is going to look like for next year. I'm going to talk about that more in my next segment. But I'm telling you, the organization's plan is to get player development rolling once again, and then they're going to be able to be much more selective in how they use their big money. And it's not going to be a situation where they're stuck bringing in Kyle Gibsons and Lance Lynn's.
Okay.
All right, Tom, appreciate
I can live with that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, call me back in 2 years, right? Like, all we can do is wait. I can tell you that's what the plan is, but they also have to follow through, right?
That's right.
Yep. Tom, certainly appreciate it. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. We are up against the 7 o'clock news right now, so don't have time for more phone calls. If you're on hold or if the phone's ringing, we'll get to you coming up in just a moment. We'll get to the text messages today, and so there's a lot to get to. I want to get into what it could potentially mean with payroll going down, and it could mean one of two things. In fact, just got a text message saying that Sports Illustrated is reporting the Cardinals are trading away Sonny Gray. That's not what Sports Illustrated is reporting. We'll get into what payroll could look like after the 7 o'clock news here on KMOX.
213 Flashpoint Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores, will take you to the next level, just like it does for me. I've been killing it in the gym for the last month with a big assist from that 213 Flashpoint Complex. Now, here's what it does. During the day, increases metabolism, fights cravings, gives you all-day focused energy with no crash. Overnight, it burns fat by lowering cortisol levels. It boosts recovery, helps you get a restful night's sleep, and it tastes pretty good, too. 213 Flashpoint Complex is available at Supplement Superstores. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Says here that Gray Bar is a distributor.
Yeah, we support electrical and datacom projects all over the country.
So you can get me the products I need, where and when I need them?
Yeah, thanks to our national logistics network.
Any industry?
Yeah, construction, industrial plants, schools, hospitals.
So you could say Gray Bar is much more than a distributor.
Yeah, you could say that. When you need a hand powering, connecting, or maintaining your operations, join the thousands of professionals who rely on Gray Bar to help keep them up and running. Yeah, Gray Bar does that.
Most of us know if it's a government program, it's hard to understand and full of red tape. Here's the problem. When you get into retirement, like it or not, you could possibly be depending heavily on Social Security and Medicare, and you'll probably need some help navigating through all the details. That's where Steve All and the All Financial Group can help. Join Steve and his team at their office on October 23rd, where Steve will discuss Social Security and special guest and Medicare consultant Scott Stream will present on Medicare. This event is complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824. or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Scott Stream and Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC are not affiliated.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KMOX KEZK HD2 St. Louis.
This is KMOX, the trusted voice of St. Louis. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. CBS News has confirmed that Pete Rose, MLB's all-time hits leader, has died at 83. Our Matt Piper reports.
Pete Rose was also known by his nickname, Charlie Hustle. He played in the MLB from 1963 to 1986, most notably for the Philadelphia Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds, where he'd later serve as manager. Rose is the all-time leader in hits, a feat he hit in 1985.
Has eclipsed Cobb. That's number 4,192.
He's also the all-time leader in games played, at-bats, singles, and outs. But there were scandals, too. In 1989, Major League Baseball investigated claims that Rose bet on MLB games, including his own teams. The then baseball commissioner issued a lifetime ban from baseball on Rose. He said it cost him $100 million and had denied it.
Regardless of what the commissioner said today, I did not bet on baseball.
He later admitted to it. Pete Rose was 83 years old. Matt Piper, CBS News.
The Israeli army says it is conducting targeted ground raids against Hezbollah in South Lebanon. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb reports from Beirut.
Hezbollah is in complete disarray following Israel's killing of so many of its leaders. But the militant group's number two, a man by the name of Naim Qassem, who spoke for the first time since the killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, insists his fighters are ready to confront any kind of Israeli ground invasion.
At least 123 deaths are blamed on Hurricane Helene in the southeast, and hundreds are still unaccounted for. There is catastrophic flooding. CBS's Skylar Henry in the Asheville, North Carolina area.
This will take years to clean up if it's ever.
Nowhere appears to be hit harder than western North Carolina, where some areas received more than 2 feet of rain. Roughly 600 people are still unaccounted for.
It's hard to understand. I mean, this is just massive.
The city of Asheville and the area around it has been largely cut off since Friday. Cell service is mostly out. Electricity won't be restored for days, and help has been slow to arrive.
We've got a lot of family businesses that have been here since the turn of the century. They're devastated.
The only vice presidential debate between Democratic Tim Walz and Republican J.D. Vance will be moderated by CBS News tomorrow night. CBS Director of Surveys, Anthony Salvanto.
Part of any vice presidential nominee's role is to rally the base. And in that sense, both Walz and Vance head into Tuesday's debate in good position within their own parties. A majority of Democrats thinks Walz makes their ticket better. A majority of Republicans thinks Vance adds to their ticket too.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At 7:03, we have clouds and 78 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Maria Aquino. Our top story this hour, police make a major bust in the city of St. Louis.
This is Stuart McMillan. St. Louis City Police Department says they've taken down a State Streets gang, calling themselves the 55 Boys. 15 members or associates of the gang sold fentanyl. They've all been sentenced. 2 main members, Devontae Lindsay and Andre Pearson were sentenced to 11 to 12 years in prison. Law enforcement say they were responsible for a significant amount of fentanyl being sold in South St. Louis. One of the items seized from the gang was a diamond necklace with 2,500 tiny diamonds in it, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms is actively searching for another person, Carlos Amos, in connection with the South City gang activity. We have a photo of him posted at KMOX.com. A 26-year-old Houston man is facing kidnapping and robbery charges. Prosecutors say last week that Anthony Naciano entered a business in the 4200 block of Bayless and ordered staffers into another room. He then stole $2,000, surveillance equipment, and staff members' phones. Police say Naciano was arrested in the vehicle that was used in the crime. The victim's property and a large amount of that cash was recovered. Jury selection now underway in a St. Louis City trial over whether baby formula is responsible for a premature baby developing severe illness.
According to court documents, the 28-week-old premature baby was given cow milk-based formula, which they allege caused the child to develop NEC. The child had to undergo surgery for NEC and continues to suffer from permanent injuries years later. The malpractice suit alleges the formula manufacturers, Abbott and Mead Johnson, knew their preterm infant formula had dangerous qualities and continued to give it to hospitals for premature babies. The St. Louis Children's Hospital is also named in the lawsuit. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
St. Louis County senior citizens can start applying for a property tax freeze tomorrow. County Revenue Director Tony Smee tells KMOX the only way to apply, though, is through an online portal.
Even if they come in for assistance, they will be applying directly into the online system, and our staff will be there to help them scan and upload documents so that they can get those documents directly into that secure system.
Smee says the department will not be accepting mail-in or paper documents as part of the application process. Residents must prove they are 62 or older and show ownership of that property. The deadline to apply for filing for the 2024 property tax freeze is June 30th, 2025. It's 7:05. Dave Murray has another check at the forecast.
No weather concerns for evening plans, with temperatures taking a slow drop through the 70s. Clear skies, 63 for the overnight low on Tuesday. We welcome the month of October. Sunny skies. A dry, cool front coming by Tuesday afternoon, so it gets a little breezy from the northwest. No rain. 76 for the high. 49 chilly degrees Tuesday night, and Wednesday sunny and pleasant. Coolest day of the week, Wednesday, 74. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Down to 73 in St. Peters. It's 78 in Florissant and 78 downtown at the Arch. I'm Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
We are back at it on KMOX as we take you through the next hour till 8 o'clock. Mostly talking Cardinals baseball. We're going to, in our next segment, we'll do a little Mizzou football for just a few minutes before we jump back into the Cardinals. If you want to join us, 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900, how you call or text, or you tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air. Of everything that was said today, me personally, I have one question, just one. Maybe there'll more that'll come to me later, but I have one question that I'm really curious on what it's going to look like. Because the Cardinals say they, in all likelihood, are going to reduce payroll going into next season, and that will allow them to devote more resources to revamping player development. Okay, so there's two ways you do that. One way of reducing payroll is I'm not trying to like kill Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn, but I keep bringing those guys up. They were Band-Aid starters because they didn't have guys available for the rotation. So one way to reduce payroll is to have less of players like that, to take those roles on the team and give them to guys who are under club control, minor league guys coming up, a Michael McGreevy, a Gordon Graceffo, Quinn Matthews, things like that. Those guys are much more cost effective. So that's one way of reducing payroll. And if that's what they do, I don't think it's a big deal. Don't think it's a big deal at all. The other way to reduce payroll is to move on from big contracts, to move on from Sonny Gray, to move on from Wilson Contreras. Less, not as true, but to move on from Ryan Helsley. He's going to get a big raise in arbitration. Move on from Nolan Arenado. I don't know if they plan to do that. There was a report out there, and I think that's what we had a texter referencing it. I believe it was a USA, just to be fair, the texter said Sports Illustrated. I believe it was USA Today, not that it really matters, but I always try to attribute things correctly. There was a USA Today report saying that the Cardinals are going to put Sonny Gray on the market. That doesn't mean they're going to trade him. That doesn't mean I would probably argue just about everybody's on the market in any given moment. Now, is there a possibility that some of these guys, Nolan Arenado came to St. Louis to win and win big. Sonny Gray, same deal. Like Wilson Contreras, same deal. Is there a scenario where these guys look at what's happening right now and realize that this next season, while I think the team still expects to compete and still expects to compete for a playoff spot, kind of the way they did this year. They were in competition for a playoff spot most of the year, but it didn't really happen for them. If these players are saying this isn't what we signed up for, do they move on from them? Maybe. Is there going to be a decision from the organization to move on from high-end players, high-money players? Maybe. I don't know. That answer, and the question was asked today, and we were not given an answer. And they're going to the financial situation of the team was brought up, and Bill DeWitt III talked about that a little bit, and they're going to have a better idea on their financials once the World Series is complete and they can look at everything. Okay, so that's my big question. That's the question I don't have the answer to, because there's two routes of cutting payroll, cutting big time salaries from the team, or replacing some kind of more mid-level type players with guys from the minor leagues as opposed to signing free agents. If it's the mid-level guys, I actually don't think that has a huge impact on wins and losses. Again, with all due respect to Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn, I think if you had a Michael McGreevy and a Gordon Graceffo in there, the results might have been largely similar to what you got. But if it's the other, if they do make a decision that they're going to trade Sonny Gray or Wilson Contreras or Nolan Arenado, that looks different. And then I do think that does impact the amount of wins the team can get next season. All right, we got a ton of callers who are in here who have been waiting very patiently. We will start with Steve. Steve, you're on Sports Open Line.
Yeah, how you doing? I appreciate you letting me on.
You bet.
I don't mean to be negative because I love the Cardinals, and I really appreciate KMOX putting me on. I told your screener this wasn't going to be a positive call. So I'd like you to hear from me as a passionate Cardinal fan of, 59 years old, love the franchise. I think this is all a shell game. I think it's all a smoke screen. No one's ever explained why Mike Shildt got fired. We heard he was insubordinate. He clearly managed the way the Cardinal way. There's a reason why Jose Oquendo has vanished from the scene. And I think the Cardinals are getting exactly what they want, or exactly what they've killed the golden goose, in my opinion. Yeah, they did a great job. I'll give them that. But what they've done to this franchise, in my opinion, is absolutely horrible. And I think this is a smokescreen for multiple reasons. They've got Marmol on contract. They've got Mozeliak on contract. Their Bally's Sports TV contract is a disaster. It's not their fault. And I think they're doing all this just to buy time. I think if they're doing all this, and I don't think the fan base is going to buy it. I talked to multiple Post-Dispatch beat writers last night, one of which I'm a very good friend with, and he said the fans are going to be furious. I think this is all just a smokescreen. I think the DeWitts want to try to prop this thing up and sell the team in a couple of years. I don't think the son has any interest. His wife lives in Malibu half the time. I think this is really sad. We don't have many shiny toys in St. Louis, and the Cardinals is one of them. And how the Cardinals now have the audacity to even think, I get it. I think McGreevy would have been a better option. I get that. But if they cut ties with Sonny Gray, you're going to have a mutiny. And I guess it really doesn't matter because no one's showing up right now. They've got to own this. They've done this. Mike Shildt in the playoffs again. He managed the Cardinal way. They've gone to analytics. They got guys from Duke that never even pitched a day in their life running their pitching staff. Their hitters. If they had a good manager, there's a reason why Whitey Herzog and Tony La Russa won. They were great managers. I don't think Oli Marmol is a great manager. I think he's a yes man. And I think they've destroyed this franchise. And I think it's really sad. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that this is buying them more time to make it look like they're making an effort. They're going to try and buffalo the fans and sell more bobbleheads, and they're going to be bad again. And then we're going to, I don't get it. I don't see the process. I don't see, they should own this. They should have been on front of us and apologize. Instead, we heard the same old rhetoric. So,
all right, Steve, you've said a lot. I'm going to let you go. I appreciate the phone call. Let me address a few of those as quickly as I can because I want to get to as many calls as I can. I think the Mike Schilt thing has been explained pretty well, but for those of he and Mo were not, they weren't on the same page. He was not going to get along, and they move on from him. And from what I wasn't here covering the team at the time, I can't confirm this, but it got to a point where the relationship was too toxic to continue on. And I think we can all relate to situations where people in a job who might be good at their job cannot stay in that job because of the toxicity that exists between that person and their superior. So I think that's the first thing that happened. As far as whether this is a smoke screen, look, it's going to be really clear. It is going to be incredibly clear if the Cardinals follow through this. If they go build a pitching lab, if they go hire coordinator after coordinator after coordinator to go be coaches roving around the minor league system, if they bring in a dozen new analytics people, all that is going to be very well known. And we can sit here and say, well, that's what they said they were going to do, and now they did it. If they do none of those things, it's going to be very clear as well. All we can do is wait on that. I don't think the DeWitts are going to sell. I think they're all in on keeping this team here in St. Louis. I would disagree with that. I don't think they're going to sell. I think they are still very much engaged with this market. So I understand the frustration. I really, really do. All of your points were well thought out. I would respectfully disagree with just about all of them. And yeah, appreciate the phone call. And maybe on a night where we're not quite as busy, you can call back and we can have a little more of a back and forth and talk through some of those things if you would like. Morton's given us a call. Hey, Morton, you're on the on Sports Open Line.
Yes, I'm going to join the bandwagon. First of all, I wonder what the reason was Matt Holliday didn't come here. He must have smelled a rat.
No, hold on, Morton. I'm gonna stop you because you've just made me angry because a million people say this. My God, they do podcasts together. Holiday went to Oliver Marr, like they're buddies. They're very, very close friends. They've been to weddings together and all that sort of stuff. The reason Matt Holiday didn't come here is because he wanted to be able to focus on his family after a really long playing career. And immediately after he took the job, he realized what it was. He and Oliver. Okay, Morton. Okay, go ahead. That is a false piece of information that people state all the time that is very easily refutable. And I am so sick of hearing it, and I'm so sick of seeing it because it is completely false and it's easily false. And Morton, you should know better than that because we've talked about it before. Go ahead.
Well, you're more privy to information than us as fans are, so I appreciate your comment. The thing is, here's my question to you. If Mozeliak and DeWitt would have had better evaluation in the past couple of years, we wouldn't be in this situation today. And I did one comment out of the press conference that kind of bothered me today, is when DeWitt made a comment. I can't remember the whole sentence, but he said, if I were a fan. Is he not a fan?
No, I mean, he owns or I don't know what you're talking about. He's either the chairman or the team or the president of the team. I think that's a little bit different than just being a fan. He was saying that he was speaking for, because I think the quote that you're talking about is he said something along the lines of, if I was a fan, I'd be very excited about these developments. Honestly, I think you're looking a little bit too deep into it. I think all he was saying was Cardinal fans should be excited about this because of the long-term nature, long-term implication of the decisions that are being announced today. That's how I took it.
I know you've got other calls. One quick question. Yeah. You think Matz and Michaelis will be back next year?
Well, that's a great question, Morton. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I got after you a little bit.
Thank
I was
you.
just
you're fine.
Yeah.
I understand. I think we're all frustrated today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Morton. Appreciate the phone call. That's a lot of money for those two guys, and you are not getting what you need from them from a performance per dollars spent. You're not getting what you need from Matz and Michaelis. What is it, $11 million that Matz is owed for next year, and Michaelis is 16.5, I believe it is. Maybe Matz is 11 or 12, but I mean, it's all the same thing. If they can find a way to get another team to pick up those players and take some of the salary that goes along with it, I think they do that in a split second, but that is going to be a lot easier said than done for sure. And I don't know. I think it's a 50-50 proposition. It might be even a situation where you have to give something else away to get a team to pick up that salary. That's a good way to reduce salary. Matt's 11 or 12 doesn't look quite as bad as Michaelis's 16.5, but it's not going to be easy to be able to move on from that salary. So Morton, I wish I had a better answer for you on that. I think they'd love to get out from under those contracts. I don't know if they're going to be able to do so. We'll take a break. We've got more coming up in just a moment. This is a Graybar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Disasters strike without warning, but together we can help those in need. Your financial donation to the Red Cross provides critical relief when it's needed most. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS or text the word Helene to 90999 to donate today. Every dollar counts. Message and data rates may apply.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
It's not just about watching the game, it's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valeni, and on Cash the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it, it's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Cash the Ticket, follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9-MILLION.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-353-9057, 800-353-9057, or biglou.com.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, and now is the time to do something about it. With Neovitamin Women's Multivitamin, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Created by a St. Louis physician, Neovitamin Women's Multivitamin is formulated with our proprietary blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Best of all, you can get Neovitamin Women's Multivitamin delivered right to your door with our convenient monthly subscription. Go to neovitamin.com and sign up for a subscription today.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-291-3183. That's 800-291-3183. 800-291-3183.
Discussing what matters to you, your family, your money, your health. KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Back at Graybar Sports Open Line, a spirited edition tonight following a press conference this afternoon where the Cardinals announced John Mozeliak done in 1 year. We already kind of knew that was coming, but it is confirmed he's going to stick in the job for 1 more year, and then Chaim Bloom is going to take over as the president of baseball operations. The Cardinals also say that they are going to really focus in on revamping and upgrading their player development system, which bluntly has not been producing the high-end talent. And we've also seen a lot of players get to the big leagues and not perform the way that we thought they were going to perform. So the Cardinals are trying to fix those areas. Seems like for many people, there's a disconnect because they want to see those areas fixed, but they're also not real happy with what was said today. Back to the phones. If you want to get in here, you can call, text, or tweet. 314-436-7900 is how you call or text. Tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air. Bob's giving us a call. Hey, Bob, you're on Sports Open Line.
Hi, Matt. Let me tell you, you do a great job. But I want to say one thing. I've been following the Cardinals since I've been 7 years old, and I'm 82 now. I'm a season ticket holder. Actually a half-season ticket holder, and I was at the Freeze home run, and I was there in 6 and 2011. And the Cardinals are not going to do anything unless they go out and get a big bat, and because we don't know what's going to happen with Goldschmidt, and he had an off year compared to 22 years ago. But, I am very disgusted with the Cardinals. I don't have much longer to live. I'm 82 years old.
So, Bob, you're not as willing to let things play out for a couple years if they think they can get things rolling again at the major league level?
Matt, I doubt it seriously if I'll even make it to that time.
All right. Well,
all I'm saying is that they need to spend some big bucks now because they've got a lot of money, not only from me, but 3 million people every year, except this year, 2.8. So I'm very disgusted. I heard Mr. and Scheim and all these people, but I'm disgusted. So you're doing a great job, but I'll tell you, the Cardinal management is not.
All right, Bob, I appreciate it. And look, Bob brings something up which is very valid, incredibly valid. There is a contingent of people out there that expect the Cardinals to win at the major league level every single year. And they don't really care about how it happens. They don't really care about player development. They don't care about all those things. They expect the Cardinals to win at the major league level every single year. And they just don't have the stomach for a reset in the organization that's going to, with the idea being that eventually the Cardinals would be back rolling, but it would mean a little bit of a step back for a year or two. There's also a lot of Cardinals fans that I think are willing for that. Bob's not one of them, and that's fine. Like, that's a valid point. I completely understand the people who want to show up at Busch Stadium and feel like every single year that team has a chance to win a World Series. And I don't think people felt that way about this year's team. I think people felt like this team had maybe a outside chance of winning the division, certainly a chance of being a playoff team. But I don't think anybody looked at the team this past year and said that's a World Series team. And now it's 2 back-to-back disappointing years. And there's some fans that just don't have the stomach for what the Cardinals are about to do. And I can't say you're wrong. I like the direction that the Cardinals are going because I think it's going to make them sustainable long-term once they get this thing rolling. Again, assuming, this is a big if, assuming that they continue to invest in player development. When Jeff Luhnow got here, the Cardinals were at the forefront of using data and analytics, and other teams saw what was going on and they started to copy the Cardinals. And at some point, teams started passing the Cardinals. We're talking about this now. Part of the responsibility of the organization is not just to catch up to and maybe surpass what's going on in the industry, but to make sure that they are well suited to continue to do these things moving forward. Dean has been incredibly patient, almost 20 minutes on hold. Dean, thanks for waiting. You're on Sports Open Line.
Hi, is this me?
Yes.
Oh, this is Dan.
Oh, okay. Well, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you something. I really appreciate the fact you take calls. There are very few stations that take calls anymore, and that's very nice, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Having said that, the biggest takeaway I got from today's press conference is when they asked them about it, and the younger DeWitt said, we're going to, we're going to improve the game day experience. So what I got from that, and I could be wrong, but it's my opinion, that means we're going to get some additional restaurants having food there, more bobblehead, stuff like that, but not the team.
Dan, can I pause you first? Can I pause you and just kind of tell you what that means, what they were saying when they said that?
But you can tell me what your opinion of it is.
No, I know.
That's my opinion.
Dan, I know what they're going to do. I can tell you for a fact. I know what they're going to do. When they're talking about updating the game day experience, quite honestly, and I love everybody at Busch Stadium, and I love the going to the ballpark. It's the same thing every day. The same music is being played. The same rigmarole with first pitches before the game and the parades on the outfield wall. Like, it's the same stuff, and it's been the same stuff for 20 years. The new senior vice president of business operations, part of what he has been brought in to do is really look at the game day presentation and try to update it. I was in Toronto, and Toronto is where, and the senior vice president, if you don't know who I'm talking about, that's Anuka Karunaratne. He is spectacular. I love him. I'm so excited for what he's going to bring to this organization. And when we're talking about the game day environment, no, Dan, we're not talking about more restaurants being built. We're talking about the actual presentation, the show that's being put on an every night basis.
Okay, but again, it's fine. And I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying that's your opinion. This is my opinion because here's the bottom line. It's a business. Would you agree that it's a business?
Of course.
Okay, now, having said that, you can do the statistics on this. Businesses that get handed down from father to son, and clearly by the time it gets to the third generation, whether it was Anheuser-Busch or I used to work for a printing company, and the father handed it over to his son who was an accountant, knew nothing about printing, knew less about people. The company's no longer in business. I think that as the older DeWitt passes it on to his son, more and more, you're going to see what you're seeing now, and eventually they will sell. Okay, I agree with you. They're not going to sell now while the father's still involved. But I think the son, the way it's going, because, hey, he doesn't want to get blasted all the time on the radio and talking about the negative. So he's going to say, I don't need it. I can make a fortune. I'm going to sell it. And again, that's just my opinion. I think people are entitled to have their opinion, but I know a lot of people that heard that conference today that agree with me. They're saying that they're going to increase the game day experience because he said the same thing this year. And all of a sudden he rolled out 4 or 5 new restaurants, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, I'd rather have seen the young people play this year. And if we finish 3 games over or whatever they were this year, I could live with it. But to be 2 games over with all the team, with the people they got, there's no hope for the future, at least not next year, maybe 2 years from now. But I appreciate you letting me share that with you.
You bet, Dan. Appreciate the phone call. Again, I can tell you they are really looking. They are really looking at the game day presentation. That's what was being talked about today. It's the game day presentation. It needs a refresh. It just does. It needs a refresh, and I think they're going to do that. Let's grab Steve, who's given us a call. Hey, Steve, you're on Sports Open Line.
Hello. Thanks for taking that call. Here's a thought. Here could be a takeaway, and that is that the DeWitts are big egos, and this is a business, and they are not all about to let the fans make decisions for them or tell them what to do. So we're living with this for another year because the contracts end, and then they can make a normal transition. But I think they feel that if they were to make a change, that would give the fans more power and control than they're willing to accept. So that's just another twist on the whole picture. Thanks.
All right, Steve. Yeah, I appreciate it. Look, I don't think they hold this press conference today if not for the dwindling attendance this past year. I think they felt partially beholden to the fans to communicate what was going on. If they would have had the 3+ million in full houses every single night, They probably don't announce the succession plan already. They maybe some of the things that were said today they're just done without an announcement. There's no press conference. Maybe there's no press release on it, and they just kind of move forward. So I think the fans showing their displeasure with the organization by not showing up to games as much absolutely has impacted the team, and it's largely connected to why there was a press conference today. All right, we're going to take phone calls until 8 o'clock tonight. I was going to play back some of the press conference. I'm punting on that. We got a lot of people who want to chime in on this. I want to give you the opportunity to share your thoughts. So if you're on hold, I'll do my best to get to you. We'll be done at 8 o'clock tonight. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
News.
All the headlines that matter to me.
Weather.
If it's going to rain, I want to know.
Traffic.
Well, nobody wants to be late for work.
And who brings you that information every morning?
This is Tom Ackerman.
I'm Megan Lynch. Hi, I'm Debbie Monterey.
I'm Roger Brand.
It's Total Information AM with everything you need to know.
What's going on in the world?
Weather reports are so important to start the day.
Tell me where the traffic is so I can get to work on time.
Total Information AM. Mornings on KMOX.
Find out what's happening.
And always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey folks, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house on the walls, patios, walkways, porch, or chimneys? If so, this might be a great time to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. What's tuck pointing? It's the removal of old mortar and the replacement of new mortar on a wall or chimney. Sometimes that mortar can become loose, missing, or deeply eroded. We've used the Morelli team to tuck point the Brennan home several times, and in fact, this winter, we noticed the bricks that line the ground near our porch in the backyard had gotten out of line and looked pretty cattywampus. One call, Morelli tuck pointing, the job was done. Morelli's the company that's won the Angie's List Super Service Award every year, back to back to back since 2005. Check out their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. The Masonry Specialists, 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
If you're trying to sell a home, there's only one agent in town that I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
California Psychics is the real deal. They helped me out, totally changed my attitude, totally got me psyched to start my business and take a new path in my life.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. We reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us, so we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
When you bought your home, you took on more than just a house payment. You spend weekends on upkeep, repairs drain your bank account, and with your equity locked up, you can't do anything. You love your home and want to stay, but it's a constant struggle. What if you could sell your home, reclaim your weekends, and not have to move? You can with Truehold's Sell and Stay program. Truehold will buy your home now while the market is high. You can bank all that equity in cash and stay in your home with a lease. Plus, you won't have to worry about property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your your life. Join thousands that have secured their retirement, paid off bills, and financed their dreams. Get an offer now while the market is hot. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com or call 855-300-9993. Truehold.com. Truehold.com.
Bernie Nicholas joins the Chris and Amy Show Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11:35 on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We don't do this a lot here on Sports Open Line, where we just basically hand things off to you, but there's been such a reaction to the press conference today, and I'm doing my best to try to address what is said to me and give my take, and I hope hope people appreciate that. But definitely want to give people their say. There's not a lot of people who are calling in or saying good things about this, whereas I'm someone who thinks that today was a very good development for the long-term implications of this ball club. Tim has given us a call. Hey, Tim, you're on Sports Open Line. Tim, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not so much about the developments of today. It's just over the last week or so. I kind of, the Wilson Contreras thing where he's kind of telling them who they need to, start getting rid of people and changing things around. Okay. I kind of figured, just did a Google on, the Cardinals record with Wilson Contreras in the lineup. And I did it last year, and they were like 50 and 75 when he played.
Okay.
And this year they're 37 and 47 when he plays. So out of all the games he's played with the Cardinals, they're like 35 games under 500. I don't know if anybody's realized that.
I mean, look, Contreras' numbers are he had an 848 OPS. He didn't play a lot of games. He played 84 games, but he's as much of an impact bat as this team has.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, I don't know if he's saying, I'm talking winning percentage,
I think that's more. I mean, last year they were just terrible, and I think more than anything else.
They were
Tim,
were over 500 when he didn't play last year.
Tim, appreciate the phone call. It's fluky. I understand why somebody wants to look that up. And look, is Wilson Contreras a perfect player? No, he leaves a lot to be desired defensively in how he receives a game and how he calls a game. I think he's gone better, but he's still not great in that area. So it's not just about his offensive production, but the win-loss record with Contreras behind the plate or playing, it's somewhat fluky. He was injured, had a couple stints on the injured list this year, and some of the time when he was injured, the team happened to be playing some of their better baseball. He's a really good player, and he's a winning player, and he helps you win games. I didn't love what he said. Not that I disagreed with what he said, but I didn't think the forum was the right spot for it. But I'm going to have a hard time being critical of his production. Bob's been patient waiting. Hey, Bob, you're on Sports Open Line.
Hey, how you doing there? Hey, I'm going to ask you a question there. When it comes to salary dump or something, if you want to call that, who is the most likely to go? And as far as the player development, it doesn't matter. The Cardinals have like only 5 instructors, I guess, in the minor leagues. Is it from AAA to AA?
So no, the instructors are got like roving. You have like a roving hitting instructor or a roving outfield coordinator or something like that go from minor league team to minor league team. And there's a lot of teams out there that have like 12 to 15, 16 like that. I think the Brewers have 17 and the Cardinals have 5 of those guys.
Well, are they looking to increase that?
Yeah.
And also, as far as player development, are they going to be patient with these guys, these young players, or are they just rushing them too soon to the majors? And I appreciate your taking the calls. Okay,
you bet, Thanks. Bob. Appreciate it. I think a big part of it is definitely adding more instruction, and that's one of the frustrating things about what happened with Jordan Walker. He went down to AAA. And he didn't have, when he's in the big leagues, he's got Willie McGee to work with every single day, and they do tons of work. But when he went down to AAA, the Cardinals didn't have a roving outfield guy that they could go send to Memphis to camp in with Walker and really work on outfield stuff. So those are the areas, and that impacts the big league level. That's what sometimes there's a disconnect on, is that if you don't have this very large staff of people that can help players develop, well, guys get to the big leagues. And unfortunately, Jordan Walker took a step back defensively, big step back defensively in right field. And the work that he was going to do with Willie McGee once he got back to the big leagues, that seemingly was not enough to get him back to where he had grown to. So they've got to add to their staff. Now, as far as the candidates for salary dumps, again, this kind of goes back to what I said earlier. I don't know if the salary going down is going to be connected to like middle level players. I keep bringing up Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn, those type of guys not being on the team and those roles being filled by cost controlled young players coming up from the minor leagues, or if it is going to be big salary players being traded. Sonny Gray, Nolan Arenado, Wilson Contreras. If it's the latter, those guys are the first guys that you talk about, and maybe it is going to be that, but that's not what the Cardinals have committed to at this point. So I can't sit here and tell you for sure what the salary reduction is going to look like, if it's going to be more of the middle level players that you're not going to get free agents and spend money on those guys, or if it is going to be the high money players. Back to the phones. Let's grab Don, who's giving us a call. Hey, Don, you're on Sports Open Line.
Did you say Don?
Yes, you're on the air.
Well, it's John, but
Okay.
that's fine. Well, I'm just going to chime in a little bit. I'm kind of taking the other side. There wasn't anything today in that press conference that really bothered me. I'm kind of glad to see that they've got Bloom waiting in the wings. I think he's really sharp, and his track record's great. If we can develop the kids like we used to, this will start taking care of itself. And I don't see a problem with it. I would say, and this is, you may have talked about this earlier, I haven't been on all that long. If you're going to replace some guys that are making a lot of money, or even the mid-market money, as you mentioned, why not go to the places where you have capable guys behind them? We got a lot of guys that can play third base. We got a lot of guys that can play first base. And we're too deep on the major league roster at catcher, and two really exciting prospects in the minor leagues with Bernal and Crook. So, those are the places, to me, it looks like you could shed payroll. You won't lose as much production because those guys haven't been as productive, and you can kind of move on. Plus, I would just have to say that even though they say that their minor leagues are in bad shape, and I get that, maybe we're not getting the instruction we need, there's a lot of talent down there yet with like Chase Davis and all these first round picks that we've had as pitchers. If we could develop those guys, a lot of this take care of itself. That's all I got. I just want to throw my side in.
Yeah, John, I appreciate with a lot of what you said. Look, I want to see Michael McGreevy and Gordon Graceffo get legit opportunities at the big league level. I want to see Quinn Matthews get an opportunity once he just shows a little bit of success at AAA. I want to see Tink Hence finally get to a point where you can feel comfortable promoting him and elevating him through the system. Those are exciting players, and I do want to see them get more of an opportunity. And looking at the areas where you do have depth in the organization and moving on from those positions, I agree with that. I do absolutely agree with that. So appreciate the phone call. One more break. We'll come back. We'll get as many phone calls as we possibly can in before we call today. It's a Graybar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock, masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This is Carson Daly, and on behalf of Dr. Alfie, Katie Neal, and all of our guests, I want to thank you for joining us for I'm Listening, Odyssey's mental health initiative. Our goal is to open our minds and hearts to more mental health conversations, because talk saves lives. If you missed the special or want to hear it again, you can find it at imlistening.org and on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. For more resources on your mental health journey, please visit imlistening.org. Thanks again.
Provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing. And if you need a new water heater like today, maybe it just went out, send them a picture of your water heater for an estimate, and you could have same-day service. Call 314-500-LEAK and find them online at BEISplumbing.com.
Most of us know if it's a government program, it's hard to understand and full of red tape. Here's the problem. When you get into retirement, like it or not, you could possibly be depending heavily on Social Security and Medicare, and you'll probably need some help navigating through all the details. That's where Steve All and the All Financial Group can help. Join Steve and his team at their office on October 23rd, where Steve will discuss Social Security and special guest and Medicare consultant Scott Stream will present on Medicare. This event is complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824 or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Scott Stream and Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC are not affiliated.
213 Flashpoint Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores, will take you to the next level, just like it does for me. I've been killing it in the gym for the last month with a big assist from that 213 Flashpoint Complex. Now, here's what it does. During the day, increases metabolism, fights cravings, gives you all-day focused energy with no crash. Overnight, it burns fat by lowering cortisol levels. It boosts recovery, helps you get a restful night's sleep, and it tastes pretty good, too. 213 Flashpoint Complex is available at Supplement Superstores. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
At Scrubbles, we're not just about cleaning your car. We're about giving you the freshest ride inside and out. Join now and enjoy a special offer for new members. For just $9.95 per month for the first 2 months, experience the benefits of our Scrubbies Graphene, Ultimate, Super, or Deluxe memberships. With 7 Scrubbles locations open and another coming soon to Wentzville, your membership is valid in all 8 locations. Visit ScrubblesExpressWash.com today to purchase your Scrubbles membership and find a wash near you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
All right, just a few minutes left in the program. I promised I would get as many calls on before we call it a day. So we'll go to Steve. Steve, you're on Sports Open Line. Steve, you there?
Who?
Whoever you are, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to know how come every caller disagrees with you and you're such a Cardinal fan. All you want to do is let the Cardinals sneak into the playoffs and then hope for lightning in a bottle.
That's not what I want.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
Oh, okay, Steve. You know what I want better than I know what I want. I get it.
no, but I'm sorry, but I mean, you know, if there been one caller that's agreed with you so far?
Look, Cardinals fans are angry about this. I get it. Nobody's going to call to say, "Hey, Matt, I agree with everything you're saying." People call. It's when the Cardinals win a game, I get no phone calls on the post-game show. When the Cardinals lose a game, I get 1,000,000 phone calls on the post-game show because angry people make calls, not happy people. I know a lot of people that are happy with what the Cardinals are doing. Those people aren't calling. If you're basing the reaction and the percentage of people that are happy or unhappy based off the calls that I'm getting on the show, it is a very flawed way of measuring the response.
I don't mean to be a jerk or nothing, but I mean, I haven't heard one caller agree with you. And, you know, it's just, it's unbelievable. You know, I mean, open your eyes. I mean, they're going to do the same thing. That's all they ever want to do is just get into the playoffs.
No, Steve, this is what I want from the team. Are you listening to me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, this is what I want from the team. I want the team to create a player development system that is robust, that is exceptional, that creates big-time major league talent. And I want those guys to get to the Cardinals, and I want them to produce in a really, really big way where this team wins divisions and wins championship series and wins World Series. And when they get to the trade deadline and they see a hole on their roster, they've got some extra room on their payroll because they've got a bunch of cost-controlled players that they've developed, and they're able to go out and supplement there and add payroll. Or maybe they're able to do it in free agency and they're able to pick one guy here and one guy there. I don't want them to go sign Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn to be your number 3 and number 4 starter and use a lot of money to do that. I want them to spend their money on big time players, and they can only do that if much of the roster is cost controlled because they're being developed. That's what I want, Steve.
All right, well, it sure don't sound like it. Sounds like any caller calls in, you're just taking the Cardinals back, you know. And I don't get it. I mean,
Steve, I'm hanging up not because I got to cut you off, but because I got 1 minute left and I got one phone caller I got to get to who's been very patient. Vic, you've got the last word today. You're on Sports Open Line.
Yes, I'll try to make it quick. I know I have a lot of points and you don't have a lot of time, but I don't know why everybody thinks the sky is falling for the Cardinals. They didn't make the playoffs 2 years in a row, but the sky is not falling for the Cardinals. They had much worse time during the 70s and the early 90s. Their way of doing business back with Walt and Tony brought in success. That brought in winning, and it brought in fans. They would go back to that way, and I think you may have talked about it on Friday. That's not how teams do it anymore. Well, just because other teams don't do it that way doesn't mean it's still not the right thing to do. And it's the new guy. He came from Tampa. Tampa had some success, but they haven't won a World Series. And even Moneyball back with Oakland when they didn't win any World Series with Moneyball. And then my last little point, trying to make it really quick, why don't the Blues and Cardinals work together to get their own TV network instead of just trying to...
Yeah, Vic, I got to cut you off right there. I got 10 seconds left in the show. I'm so sorry. We will continue this conversation tomorrow. I'd love to address what you just said, but I'm out of time. The 8 o'clock news starts in just a couple minutes here on KMOX.
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious